Welcome to Hooked on Football, your go-to podcast for everything NFL. Whether you're a lifelong fan or just getting into the game, we're here to break down the action on and off the field. Each week, we'll dive into the latest news from around the league, including game recaps, picks and predictions, analysis and insights. From injury reports to power rankings and everything in between, we'll keep you connected to all things NFL. In order to keep up with us, please like, share, subscribe, and follow, because once you're hooked on football, there's no looking back.
So we just wrapped up, what was it, week 9?
Yep.
And today, Tuesday the 5th, just got past the trade deadline. So all sorts of fun news this week. I think we got it all on your computer. What you got?
Yeah, we'll start off with the biggest one, trade of the day. Probably the Commanders made a move for cornerback Marshawn Lattimore from the Saints. They sent out a third, a fourth, and a sixth in next year's draft. Also got a fifth in return. But their cornerback, too, Benjamin St. Juste, had been kind of struggling to start the year. So
pretty
big
cheap
move for them.
Pretty cheap for that caliber corner. Cost you a sixth and a third.
I don't know if it's always been this way, but last few years I've been kind of baffled at how little
people are going for
star players.
Nothing.
Yeah, go for it. But before we get too far into it, I want to welcome Roman into the show.
I didn't even think to do that.
Co-host.
Yeah, he should be a regular. I think we've teased him
regular-ish.
Regular-ish, yeah.
I'm trying.
As far as guests, he'll be here sporadically for now. Hopefully more in the future.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Excited.
Good
to have you.
But yeah, no, that Marshawn, that should be big. That should be already a great team. Offense has been obviously humming because of Daniels. So
yeah.
Especially for Washington, they're such a good defensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
secondary
really
is killing them.
They've had a good defensive line for a while, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that'll be big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of crazy to see a team go kind of all in a rookie quarterback's season, but they
cash in now.
7-2 record, I think they have. So
7-2. Yeah, I mean, you're basically there. Ride it.
Yeah,
keep going.
Like cash in now. Maybe get something good in his first 5 years, and then you got to pay him. So that's where you go.
Yeah. Has a rookie quarterback ever won a Super Bowl?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Great question.
But that'll be big for them. I think probably next biggest one. No, never happened. That'd be kind of cool.
No rookie quarterback has ever won or even started a Super Bowl.
Now I kind of want to see it.
I don't. Speaking of why I don't want to see it, the Lions also made a move today to pick up Tre'Davious Smith from the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
They traded a fifth in this upcoming draft for a sixth next year, and also got a seventh back next year, which, if things stay as they are, that'll be a late sixth for early seventh. So that's almost a wash, especially with how good Brad Holmes is at drafting in the late rounds so far. So basically a fifth for Tre'Davious Smith.
Cheap for position.
Again, another one of those.
Yeah.
It's just surprisingly cheap. But he is, 32.
Yeah.
But not 5 sacks this year already, though.
Yeah.
He's been opposite Myles Garrett. He hasn't had a ton of attention.
He's going to go from having no attention to having all of it.
Yeah.
Number one guy.
Their defensive tackles are very strong, but as far as pass rushers go.
He'll probably have 3 more sacks this year, but it'll open up opportunity for other guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw the Lions only have to pay $600,000 for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And then next year, his contract is $1.2 million next year, which is not guaranteed, but his cap hit is $5-point-something million. Either way, not bad. No. You'll have him opposite Hutchinson next year, which obviously will only be stronger.
Yeah, good for them. I don't like it because I don't like him, and I was enjoying liking the Lions a little bit, so that definitely puts a damper on things. Cause
don't hold it against them. They had to do what they had to do.
He left the same way Martellus left Green Bay, like a real baby back bitch, and I just don't like him anymore.
He'll be hella motivated against the Packers and Vikings, as two of his former teams.
Yeah. Zach Tom will handle him, though.
Okay.
He's been handling everyone this year, so I'm not too concerned about him. Had they got Max or Miles, then I would have been like, that makes me nervous. Tre'Davious doesn't make me nervous. Tre'Davious just makes me like the Lions a little bit less. But I'll get over that after a couple weeks.
Next trade went down today. The Steelers made a move for wide receiver Mike Williams from the Jets, who had kind of fallen out of the rotation there a little bit after they traded for Devontae Garrett, leading the league in targets early on.
With Lazard going to IR, I was wondering if he was going to be less available.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
I was wondering if he also was wondering if he was going to go reunite
back
with
to the
his Chargers, but
I don't know. They're going all in on Russell Wilson there.
Yeah. Well, you got to.
He's playing.
He's playing fine, and also, what else? What else do you do?
Yeah.
I don't think Mike Tomlin's a rebuild kind of guy.
No.
He just stays winning football games, so they're not ever gonna. I don't see him settling to rebuild. But then they also went for the other Smith brother. Not really brother, but they were the Smith brothers in Green Bay.
Yeah. They traded a 2025 fifth for Mike Williams and then a 2025 seventh for Preston Smith. So just another move to fortify that defense, which is already pretty solid.
Yeah, don't like that. Not that Preston had been doing a ton, but he was a starter, and then I was hoping that meant they were coming back with something else that they were going to pick up, like Arden Key or something. One of the guys that was still available. Yeah. But nothing.
Next, we have the Ravens trading for cornerback Tre'Davious White, who was most recently playing for the Rams. Wasn't playing much there, and when he was really struggling.
I didn't realize. I didn't notice the downfall of White.
Yeah, so he was with Buffalo last season, signed with the Rams this offseason. I forget exactly what the stats were, but he gave up, I think, 12 receptions on like 16 targets.
That's not
for
great.
A lot of yards, and his PFF rating the PFF rating for the receivers opposite him was like almost perfect. So
yeah, that's rough.
Not great, but Ravens didn't give up much of anything for him. They gave up a 2026 seventh and got a 2027 seventh in return. So literally almost nothing.
Yeah.
So worth it for them.
Gosh, they need it. Same situation as like Washington, where
they're
strong up front, and then that secondary
that
just
defense has been
bad.
Didn't show this weekend against Denver, but their defense is not. No. When you think of Ravens, you think of defense, but their defense this year has not been what it usually is.
No.
We had some other small trades today, but moving on from trade season, Dak Prescott got hurt this week. Sounds like he's likely headed to the injured reserve. Jerry Jones said in his weekly radio interview that he was likely headed to injured reserve, so out for at least 4 weeks. Cowboys seem like they're kind of out of the race now.
Would imagine they folded in, get a high pick.
I don't know.
Trade some assets away.
Cooper Rush came in and played well.
True,
maybe that was what they needed.
They just have zero run game.
To
speak of.
They have so many washed up running backs, and none of them.
I just love how much they get grilled by everybody for not going for Derek.
Yeah,
just not putting their chips in.
Not going away anytime soon either, because you pay all that money to Prescott and CD, and then you don't want to spend a little bit more to get a running back that has said
I can't remember
more or less that he wanted to be there.
I can't remember the numbers, but did you see the money that they the extra money they spent by not signing CD and Dak earlier?
Yeah.
I can't remember them.
It was a lot.
But it was a lot. Like, had they just signed them way earlier.
They could have saved probably tens of millions.
And now one's on IR.
Yep.
Like genius.
Yep.
Yeah, the smart franchises get their guys locked up as soon as they can. Obviously, there's some risk of injury there, but
the Cowboys being a smart franchise has never been in question. We've always known
Correct.
that they're not. So
it's still so strange that Jerry Jones unpromptedly said that they were going all in and then did nothing but re-sign his own guys.
Yeah.
Other news on the injury front, Chris Olave suffered a concussion on a nasty hit.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably talk a little bit more about later, but I'm not sure how that hit wasn't ejectable when Brian Branches was.
Yeah. I
that was nasty.
I didn't study that one as much, but
yeah.
And so he's the one that got sandwiched, right?
Yeah, and straight up just knocked out.
Yeah, and he's got a concussion history. He had at least one at Ohio State. He had one last year, so hopefully he recovers quickly. He was starting to play pretty good for them, even though they're pretty terrible as a team. Derek Carr didn't make any difference this week.
They tried to break my man Herbert's ankles last week.
Oh, so really?
I'm not too.
You don't feel bad about it.
I feel bad because it's not Chris's fault, but
right. He wasn't the one doing it.
Yeah. Did you guys see Mike Thomas just roasting Derek Carr?
Yeah. Did you see Derek's response though?
Yeah. Classy.
I was like, honestly, good work.
Yeah.
That was the perfect response.
Yeah, Mike Thomas basically just calling him garbage, saying that he's always throwing hospital balls, getting his teammates hurt, that he's terrible. What else did he say? He said that people made it sound like Thomas was just mad that he lost his starting job, but really he just hates Carr. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it sounded like he hadn't liked Carr for
a
while, from what Carr said.
Now it's time to dive into the Hooked Hierarchy, the part of the pod where we unveil our top 10 NFL squads, ranking teams based on performances, stats, and maybe a little bias. Who's rising to the top and who's slipping down the ranks? Get ready for some heated debates and some surprising picks as we break down the best of the best. So we'll start with our number 10 for this week, and we'll let the guest, Roman, why don't you go first with who you got at number 10?
10, I got the 49ers.
Okay.
I wanted to leave them out, but it just felt wrong leaving them out. I mean, they're just a couple guys coming back from injury away from being right there.
I had left them out, waiting on that, seeing what happens once those dudes come back, once Christian's back. I imagine once Christian's back, they're going to start hopping their way up.
I just felt like 4-4 with as many injuries as they got. Yeah. They're just a couple guys away. They gotta be.
But
plus the NFC has a couple teams at the top, and then all the rest of the teams are kind of in a mix there.
Brock Purdy's proven himself at this point. Like he's
serviceable.
He can hold them together,
especially with all those weapons. Ayuk won't be back, but
and the defense is always ready to be top tier. So
yeah. Ayuk won't be back, but McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, that's still better than a lot of teams have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So, Brett, what do you have at number 10?
I've got, for my number 10, I got Atlanta. Kirk just keeps playing well. He's been, most of the time, super efficient. This last week was really taking care of the ball. And also, 10, it's kind of, like you said, there's just a lot of teams right in there. It was hard to pick, but that's where I got them falling.
So many weapons offensively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At number 10, I had the Minnesota Vikings. I feel like they've had a rough last few weeks, but still feel like they have a top 10 squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not too much to say about them, but I have them sitting at number 10. Roman, who do you have at number 9?
Number 9, I had the Vikings.
There you go.
It's kind of back to earth the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
But they did get a much-needed win.
Second half, they looked like what they looked like the first 5 weeks, so that was a little bit irritating.
Darnold's there. It's not like he's had a massive drop. He's still playing good. So
yeah.
Yep.
I don't think the Colts are as good as a lot of people thought.
No.
To start the season.
At my number 9, I got the Steelers. That's where they were last week. They had a bye, so I left them. Wasn't going to move them anywhere based off of a non-game week, and they've been looking good and about to look better, it sounds like.
I feel bad. I have them a few spots lower.
Do you?
Yeah.
I also had them out of my top 10, but number 9, I actually had the 49ers, so I guess I have them ranked higher than either of you this week. They also had a bye this week, so not much reason to move them around. I had them at 9 last week, but like Roman said, McCaffrey coming back, obviously that's huge. One of the
like I said, I think next week he'll probably make an appearance.
Much pressure off Purdy.
It sounds like he will be on a kind of a snap count.
I figure, but having him at all, no
doubt. Especially losing Brandon Ayuk, another receiving threat. Yeah.
Yeah, and they take on the Buccaneers this week, who are playing well, but are obviously short on weapons.
Don't give me that face. Dude, I wanted them to win last night so bad, so I can move them back into my power rankings.
What hurt
just to argue
was I
with you.
had to root for the Chiefs last night. Like I told myself,
You didn't.
I was like, do I hate Baker or the Chiefs more?
The Chiefs always.
I went Baker.
Whatever. What you got at 8?
8. I have the Texans.
Okay.
Yeah, Texans at 8. I mean, Packers beat them. I'm not putting them.
They fell out of mine.
Oh, they fell out of your top 10.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I said it last week.
They did just lose to the Jets, who haven't beat anybody.
I was thinking last week, but I said I think they've been a slightly better Cincinnati. They've just instead of just barely losing games, they've just barely been eking out games, and then obviously Green Bay beat them, and then Jets. Jets looked.
No Diggs, no Collins. That doesn't help.
Great.
They should be getting Collins back this week against the Lions, of course.
But in that game, the Jets looked great second half, but still. So,
Texans did not look good.
No, they fell out of mine. So I have at 8 Philadelphia Eagles. They're obviously playing very well right now, and last couple weeks we referenced Mike Tomlin as Black Jesus, but no, it's Saquon.
Oh my gosh,
dude is playing phenomenally, and then to backwards hurdle someone, that's never been seen. That's got to be maybe the coolest football play ever, just because never been done. So yeah, I got the Eagles.
Kind of like the first time you see like a healthy Saquon with a good team around him. It's kind of scary.
Yeah,
he's so good.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting him to be good this year. I was not expecting what he's doing.
No.
I feel like my response to your pick with the Texans at 8 sounded like I disagreed with you, but I actually have the Texans at number 8 also.
Oh, okay.
Bad week. I feel like the Jets kind of finally figured some stuff out. Everybody, until this week, had kind of thought they would turn it around, and now they finally did it. So, Texans getting Collins back. Their offensive line is not good.
Rough.
Lots of pressure on Stroud, but I think
you can see a digression there. But at the same time, I'm not going to hold it against them just yet. They're still 6-3 and leading their division. So
Yep. I think that they're going to be all right. Collins coming back is going to be a big help. Obviously, he was the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL as far as stats go when he got hurt. So I'll be curious to see if he's on a snap count or
see
how they look this week.
They may be like the Niners. They may make another appearance on here.
Yep. Number 7, Roman?
7-0 Packers.
Them cheeseheads.
No. They definitely. They not the loss. How they just looked this last week definitely knocks them down. It was a. Hey, we're playing a really good team. Let's be the dumbest we've ever been.
They're not the team to
be dumb against. Yeah. No, at 7 I've got the Vikings. I think I left them the same spot I had them last week too. They obviously barely beat a really bad Colts team.
So average team.
But they had a rough first half. Second half, it seemed like they started to figure it out again. So it looks like that Vikings team is still there. The good Vikings team is still there, unfortunately.
Yeah. Number 7, I also had the Packers. So Roman and I are on the same path here a little bit. I still think they're a very good team. It looked like Love was maybe a little hampered by that hamstring injury still.
Yeah, or groin, whatever one it was.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The groin or the knee, I don't know what it was. It was bugging him that game, but
and they just always seem like they're just like one bad Love mistake away from always being like winning.
And it's not even
he plays great in the entire game, and then it's just
him.
One.
It's the entire team. Like Elton Jenkins was their backup center this week. Dude had played center. It was a few years ago where their offensive line was having so many issues, and he was just kind of hopping around and played center and was great then. So I don't know why it was rough this week. I mean, obviously not a center, but what was it, 4 fumbled snaps?
The weather was terrible.
I don't care.
No, the Lions are supposed to be the dome team, and they looked more prepared.
But also, no one fumbles snaps even when it's raining. It rains regularly. Like people, it's not like it's foreign to them. It's not like, oh my goodness, we're playing and it's wet. This has never happened. So the fumbled snaps was so stupid, and then so many penalties.
They didn't lose any of those though, did they? I mean, they lost yards, but
I mean, they lost a down and yards, so gets you way off schedule.
I was just trying to remember if any of those became turnovers.
I think 2 of them were consecutive, so there's that whole drive gone.
Right.
And then obviously the Love picks and the Tre'Davious Wicks. I think he had 3 or 4 drops that game too. And
4.
He had 1 off his chest in the end zone. Heck, are you doing? He had a couple that would have been on conversions. Reed had a drop. Dobbs had a drop. The whole team just kind of crapped the bed that game.
You just piggyback off the dome thing, but it's like the Lions also know how to go under center. A lot better than most teams.
Yeah, and also
the Packers. I mean, that's not they like
Yeah, Lions have plenty of. I mean, they play at Lambeau twice a year.
Yeah, they know how to play.
So they know how. So that was what people talking about. That it was. I didn't pay any mind to that all week. I just didn't say anything because I was letting you keep putting good vibes out. But prior to the Thursday night game, Texans Jets, I was like, I don't know, maybe they pull it off. Not sure. Love's injured. They're going to rush him back. We saw how that went with Minnesota, and then also Detroit's super hot right now, so wasn't feeling it. And then Jets lost to, or Jets beat the Texans, and I was like, oh, that was their one test game. I don't have any confidence this week. But I was like, no, everyone else is saying, you're saying Packers are going to win, so I'm going to just keep riding that, hopefully manifest a Packer win.
A lot of people tend to let their biases affect their picks. I feel like I kind of do the opposite of what people do. I pick.
You're just like, my team. Well, you're used to Lions sucking.
Well, for one thing, I'm trying to kind of anti-jinx it. Because
sure.
Going into that game, I was super confident that the Lions were going to win by a decent amount, especially after Xavier McKinney was talking about how the Lions try to embarrass people, and players around here don't like that.
Take kindly to that.
Hey, well, do something about
it. They did. They held that offense to 17 points. So that was.
I feel like that's more the weather than the Packers' defense. The Packers are obviously an explosive offense and only had 3 points, no touchdowns into the fourth quarter. So,
no, that was I mean, maybe a little. I guess watching it, I didn't see weather affecting the Lions much. Montgomery was still running.
But
Gibbs,
that's like
once Gibbs came in, he was still running.
Hand off the ball.
Also, Goff was 11 for 11 to start the game.
And then I was about to say, and Goff had no problems throwing the ball. So
it helps when you're throwing to Amon-Ra, who doesn't drop the ball.
Yeah,
30 straight.
What do they have? 30 straight.
30 straight targets from Goff to Amon-Ra have been completions, and some of those are tough. The touchdown, the toe tap, that's a very tough catch.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They've got quite the connection there.
Yep. We were just on
number 7. So moving on to Romans number 6.
You said you're number 7?
Yeah,
you said Packers. 6. I got the Eagles. They're turning around. They look better.
Yeah.
Jalen was struggling at the beginning, and
can you stop cheating off my list, please?
Oh, we go. I mean, he's got Devontae and AJ Brown back. Like Saquon is obviously playing like Saquon.
Yeah. Hopefully AJ can go again.
I couldn't put him.
Yeah.
I wanted to put them higher, but I was like, no, temper it because
they're playing good. That division's going to be fun. Seeing who it comes down to, them and the Commanders, which we'll get into because we're going to make playoff picks here toward the end of the pod.
Yeah.
I still think that Sirianni is a silly coach.
Yeah.
Not a fan, but that team is so talented.
But the team,
they're
going
for it on fourth. There was. I'm trying to remember what point of the game that was. They were up 6, field goal range.
Mm-hmm.
Went for it on a 4th down. I'm like, and then didn't get it. And I was like, that's the dumbest. You're up 6. You kick the field goal. You go up 2 scores. And he went for it on 4th. Didn't get it. made the game way closer than it needed to be. So he still makes stupid, silly decisions.
It's one of them teams where the players cover up the coaching now.
A little bit.
Because you have coaches cover up bad players if they're good, but then this is a little opposite of that.
But no, at my 6 Packers, we already talked about them. I knocked them down a couple just because of you don't like seeing undisciplined, crappy showing like that. But also, it was all stuff that should be easily correctable.
Yeah,
they got to buy for Love to get healthy, and for Jair to get healthy, and for Josh Myers to hopefully get healthy. Yeah, they had quite a few. They had a few guys that were not in that game. So they got guys to get healthy, and then I think a little bit of maybe fatigue. I don't know what's going on when you're making dumb mistakes like that, but
the bye couldn't have come at a better time.
Bye was
great time for a bye for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, last week would have been a little bit better. So they didn't rush Love back, but
and prepare a little better for the.
I really wanted just Malik to play and see what happens. If somehow you win with Malik, sweet. Otherwise, just take the L, go into the bye, let Love get healthy, because we've seen when he's not, he makes mistakes because he still tries to do what he does when he is, and it doesn't go well. So, but no, I think they'll be better back up into the upper fews after that bye.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I wanted to mention that I don't know if you guys saw that the Honolulu flu ended. The Titans won after playing the Lions.
I was actually in the shower. I was thinking about that this morning.
Only thing I like about that is now the Packers can't be the one to break it. Who do they play after the bye?
Bears.
Yeah, they would break it.
They were gonna break it.
At my number 6, I also had the Eagles, as I hinted at. Hurts continues his strong play. Barkley looks like a offensive player of the year contender, at least if Derrick Henry wasn't
doing
playing football.
Derrick Henry's doing.
Somehow better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just have a strong all-around team. I see them making a push for that division, even though the Commanders are obviously looking pretty strong.
Yeah. So
number 5, Roman?
5, Washington. It's gonna come down to them too to win that division.
Yeah, same. I got Washington there.
Yep.
Jaden just stays good. He's playing well. Throwing for, I think, what was this last week? A couple touchdowns, no picks. He's taking care of the ball, and I mean they just got Lattimore. So that defense is gonna be even better.
Yeah. St. Jude's has been terrible for them.
Yeah, so that's gonna be big. It's crazy how quick the turnaround that team had.
Yeah. My number 5 actually had the Ravens. Obviously, they had a dominant win this week. Denver seems like a for sure pretender, which I kind of already knew that, but
I was hoping not.
Yeah, me too. What the only shocking thing to me about that game was their defense looked absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
after being
weird.
one of the best in the league. But kind of like the Ravens Lions last year. Ravens have one of those games every year where they just get ticked off and blow somebody out. They had lost the week before. So.
They've done that a couple times this year already, though.
Yeah.
The Ravens.
I'm still holding out hope that the Broncos can squeak into the playoffs, but not sure if that's going to happen. But yeah, I had Ravens at number 5.
What you got it for?
4. I have the Bills.
Same.
Buffalo.
Bills, yep.
Josh
Allen looks great.
Yeah.
But I got 3 that I like better.
Yeah. He's only got 2 picks so far this season. They're
impressive.
He's playing well.
The top quarterbacks, it's crazy how few picks are being thrown.
Yeah.
It's insane. The
but
efficiency this year
on the other end,
it's
crazy how many
like that bottom
picks people
half
are throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are Mahomes and Love still top 2?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You betcha. I think Love might have taken the lead this week.
Love is number 1.
Mahomes didn't throw any.
Mahomes and then old reliable Baker Mayfield there.
Yeah, but he's behind him a couple few.
He's at 9. He's got 9.
I thought he was like 7.
No,
9.
he's got 9.
That's all right. Who cares when you're throwing 25 touchdowns in 9 games? Yeah, my like I said, my 4 also Buffalo.
I actually have the Commanders at number 4.
Nice.
7-2 for the first time since 1996, which is crazy. We've already talked about it with the rookie rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
But
And
he's
Marshawn
the real
is just
deal.
going to get better.
Yeah.
Marshawn
Yeah,
Lattimore
they're gonna
now.
be-
Sure.
That defense is coming around.
Yeah.
I heard an interesting proposal, or not proposal, but idea that if the Commanders were to call the Bears and offer, or sorry, if the Bears were to call the Commanders and offer Caleb Williams for Jaden Daniels straight up, they would just laugh and hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you got a 3.
Commanders number 4, number 3.
3, I got the Ravens.
Same.
Lamar and Derrick Henry are just
Yeah.
lethal.
Yeah. They. I think I had them there the last 3 weeks. They had their way with Denver, and last week I told you. Last week meant nothing. It was that weird freak thing where that old veteran backup comes out and has a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to hold that against them, and they came out and did exactly what I thought the Ravens were. And yeah,
Kind of
Derrick
interested
Henry.
to see if Tre'Davious has a little resurgence with them.
Sometimes change
He
of
isn't-
change of
I
scenery
mean,
makes a
but
difference.
We know what he's
He was
been
good in
before.
Buffalo.
Oh, he was great in
Real good.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
One of the best corners in the league. So
Yeah.
yeah,
and they need it. They could.
Yep.
They could. Like he just pops up and is all of a sudden playing at a good level.
Yeah.
Defense looks pretty good.
yeah. And Lamar's been playing
Mhm.
out of his mind. I think he just had his. I forget how many now, but I think he's had like the most perfect passer rating games
Really.
or
Yeah.
something. I think I saw that stat.
And that's always been his knock is his passing. And
Yeah.
you can't knock him on it this
But
year.
he does that though. Like I've noticed that through his career, he just like he'll have these games where he's thrown like 18 pass attempts, but 5 touchdowns, and a ton of yards. And I'm like, where did that come from? And then he'll play pretty pedestrian after that. But no,
Well, I think we all have the same top 5 and all have the same 3 through 5, just in different order. I have the Bills at number 3. Not much change with them since last week when we talked, but like
Yeah.
you guys said, Josh Allen playing very efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
James Cook. I was never been a James Cook fan, but he's playing very well this year. Yeah.
she got it too.
Got the Chiefs. I know
Yeah.
they're undefeated, but
Yeah,
there's a hot team right now. And
Same.
I, just can't,
Yeah.
I can't go against it.
yeah. I also got the Chiefs.
And Patrick's just not. He's not Patrick this year.
This last week, he was Patrick. I think this week they earned their 2 spot.
Yeah.
Before they had been their default, just because they're undefeated
Yeah.
and reigning champs. But this week, Mahomes looked like Mahomes, and when they needed to get the job done, they did.
DeAndre trade's going to pay.
DeAndre.
That's what makes it scary.
Yep.
'Cause It's like, oh,
Already
we were
had 2
8-0 without him,
touchdowns.
but shoot.
Yep. No, I mean everyone knew it on that coin toss. That was one time where I was like all for, didn't question. I was like, go for 2 to just like try to win the game, and then I didn't. I don't know. I feel like that's not a situation that Mahomes or the Chiefs ever lose in, especially if they're getting the
so
ball
efficient
first.
like that.
And you saw it on Baker's face as soon as that
Yeah.
Yeah.
coin came up heads.
You can't leave it to a coin toss. I'm going for 2 in that situation.
Yeah.
Your chances of getting a 2-point conversion is better than stopping Mahomes
Yeah.
if they
Yeah,
get the ball.
if they get the ball first, yeah. I agree.
Plus, the
That
Chiefs'
was-
defense is no joke, so even if you get the ball first.
Oh,
not guaranteed
Baker
it's
had
good.
been.
No, yeah, he'd been playing very
They've been moving, especially that last drive. I mean, all the momentum was in
Yeah. And
Tampa's side.
Tampa side, yeah.
Yep. So they're number 2.
Yep, I finally had the cojones to move the Chiefs down and the Lions up. So yeah, I also had the Chiefs at number 2. Like you guys said, Mahomes looked a lot better this week, getting some more chemistry built up with Hopkins, who
Yeah.
I forget what that trade was, but Titans didn't get enough. I know that.
It was. Oh no, it was. Oh wait, no, it was the Uche one that was nothing.
Yeah,
I forget what the Hopkins was.
it was a compensatory something for.
4th or
Basically,
5th or
they were
something.
only going to move back like 20 picks at
Yeah.
most or something like that. But
something dumb.
yeah, I think that the Titans moved on from Derrick Henry and Hopkins.
Yeah,
It's something that I'm sure Titans fans lose sleep over.
I bet.
5th round that turns into a 4th rounder if the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
which would be yeah.
Yeah.
Former All-Pro wide receiver.
Mhm.
Right.
Not bad.
No. So I guess everybody, they're number 1. Detroit Lions is what we got. They are playing, obviously, phenomenally. they seem to have addressed their one issue, which had been the pass rush. They, I think, 2 weeks ago had a sack. This week, nothing.
Brad Holmes for president.
My God.
Honestly,
it's kind of crazy that all their defensive line injuries haven't affected them more. I mean, they haven't had pressure, but
dude, I feel bad for them to come next year because Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, they're
they
gone.
might both
they're
be
both
gone.
gone.
Yeah,
they're both gone.
Yeah, that's
oh my gosh, that's gonna be tough.
Well, hopefully Dan Campbell is able to work his real camaraderie team
keep them there.
Guy magic and keep them there somehow for a little bit, but.
Well, I can guarantee that
everybody's going to want Ben Johnson.
If they do leave, any of the available guys looking to move up to coordinator positions are going to want to go to Detroit because they're obviously going to have one of the most talented rosters in the league. Everybody has only good things to say about Campbell.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, too, though. What he's doing with
an empty,
not everyone. Not empty cupboard, but, it's not.
Yeah, their defensive backfield is actually ranked pretty high in the league, which is surprising.
Yeah.
Obviously, a huge turnaround from last season. They were terrible.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they were down. Obviously, Hutchinson's out for the year, but Brian Branch was out most of that game, and still their defense looked pretty strong.
They're,
also, no J-Mo, who's back.
Yep.
Was reinstated yesterday.
Name, or their other safety's name. I can't think of it.
Branch or Joseph?
Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, Kirby Joseph tied.
He ended up playing real well.
Tied McKinney for most interceptions in the league. He's actually the first safety since Ed Reed to have 14 or more interceptions in the first 3 years of his career.
Nice.
And obviously, there's 8 games to go.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool.
Yeah.
My only concern with them is if they peak too soon. Because teams kind of go through waves, but...
Yeah, teams do, and noticed especially Goff has over his career, so I worry they got too hot too soon.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
If they're going to have a low, hopefully it comes soon so they can
get back up out of it.
Not for your...
Dan's great at tempering their attitude.
I say if anybody can keep them
in line.
Focused, it's him, especially after the way that they blew the NFC Championship last year. Yeah. That's
also they had
easy to stay motivated.
Early bye, which kind of sucks because you can get a lot of wear and tear and fatigue through the year.
Yep.
So they had last bit prior to this week, they had 2 weeks where they could have easily looked over opponents and just.
Yeah, well, they didn't play their starters in part of the fourth quarter of 2 straight games. That helps.
But
Cowboys and
they
Titans
just get out to big leads and just keep stomping on people.
Mm-hmm.
Big Sunday night football matchup this week against Houston, so that'll be a fun one.
Good game.
Now let's get to Pigskin Prophecies, the segment where we unveil our picks for this week's NFL clashes, break down key matchups, analyze the stats, and make our bold predictions. Who will rise to the occasion and who will fall short? A little review from last week. Brett made up a little more ground. Thursday Night Football, Texans at the Jets. He had the Jets winning and covering the 1.5-point spread. I had Houston winning outright, which we all know how that went. Jets look like they may have figured some stuff out. Garrett Wilson, 2 touchdowns.
2 incredible touchdowns.
Thursday Night Football, I already knew I was losing my fantasy matchup of the week because I was going against Wilson.
But Devontae had a nice one, too.
Yeah. Then we had the Cowboys facing off against the Falcons. We both had Falcons winning and covering the 2.5-point spread. So.
Yeah, that one didn't take much thought. That was pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, Cowboys are good and terrible.
Good and terrible.
We had the Raiders at the Bengals. Cincinnati was favored by 8 in that one. We both picked Vegas to lose but cover, which they did not. Cincinnati dominated.
Who knew they could do that all of a sudden?
I tried to get smart and say that if Higgins was back that they would cover when he wasn't back, and they still covered.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders at the Giants. Commanders were favored by 3.5, and they covered, although it was closer than I would have guessed.
Yeah.
That was 1-5.
Danny Dimes showed up. That's why.
Divisional game, you never know what's going to happen. It's probably why the spread was.
Danny Dimes won the scepter this week.
Or New Jersey.
He won the scepter
Angry Run?
with his I
didn't see that.
Angry Run scepter with his touchdown run.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't see a single play of that game.
Bounced off Dante Fowler, put, I don't remember who, in the ground, and then went right in.
Nice, I'll have to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the game of the week, the Patriots at the Titans. Just kidding. Tennessee was favored by 3.5.
Maybe the play of the week, though, with that Drake May touchdown at the end.
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh, yeah. That was nice.
We both had New England winning outright, which they did not.
Nope.
Titans won by 3 in that one. Then we had the Broncos at the Ravens, matchup of 5-3 teams, and it looked like anything but an even matchup. Baltimore was favored by 9.5. We both had Denver covering, and boy, were we wrong. Baltimore looked dominant.
Yeah.
Dolphins at Bills. Bills favored by 6.5. We both had Dolphins covering, but Buffalo. Let's see. No, sorry. We both had Buffalo winning and covering the spread. Miami covered, but lost. Saints at Panthers. Saints were favored by 7, and they lost.
Definitely should have won by 7, but
yeah. Panthers get their second win of the season. Bryce Young might be a start of his comeback story. Looked pretty decent, even if it is against the Saints.
Right.
If you guys saw after the game, Cam Jordan walked past the locker room, and Derek Carr had to go talk him into coming back to be with the team. Obviously, very frustrated with the way they're playing. They started out 2-0, dominating teams, and they've lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Probably should have just sent him to Green Bay because he doesn't want to be there anymore.
I'm so glad they didn't. He's getting on the older side, but still producing.
I mean, Preston was, so.
Yeah.
Still the best player they have.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after trading Lattimore. He's their best defensive player now.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the 4-3 Chargers at the 2-6 Browns. Chargers were favored by only 2, which was, I guess, a little surprising, but they covered the spread.
Just as we suspected.
They didn't let the Jameis curse in.
No.
Yeah, Jameis had one of his famous 3 interception games.
Yeah.
I don't know how many he's got.
As expected. No.
He's got to lead the league in the history of in 3 interception games.
Mr. 30 and 30.
Have to look that up.
Yeah.
Chargers currently sit in the sixth spot. Next, in the 4 o'clock window, we had the Bears at the Cardinals. Cardinals were favored by 1, and I believe they dominated that game, 29-9. Kyler Murray looking like kind of his old self. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been a little up and down, but looking pretty good. James Conner's always been solid, even a little underrated.
Solid, yeah.
Then we had the Jaguars at the Eagles. Eagles favored by 7.5. Brett, you correctly predicted that Jacksonville would cover, but Philly would win. I had Philly covering, which they did not. Jaguars keep losing, but keep playing teams close.
Yeah.
Which I guess kind of understandable. They got some talent there.
Right. They should be better than they have been.
They should be better.
Lawrence, Etienne, Bigsby, Thomas. Before Kirk got injured, this is a pretty decent offense. Yeah. Got some good defensive players, but.
Update on the whole 3 interception thing. George Blanda had the most games with 3+ interceptions.
That was my guess.
Yep. 40 times he's done it.
40?
40 games.
Jeez,
he's done 3 or more.
Back then, they only threw like 20 times a game, max.
Most of those he was giving
to the other team. That was probably high,
team.
actually. That's probably a high estimate.
Yeah.
Moving on, we had the actual game of the week, the Lions at the Packers. Lions were favored by 3.5. We both picked Green Bay to win outright. Maybe a little bias on either one of our parts, just in a different fashion.
I was just trying to manifest stuff.
Yeah. I was trying to anti-jinx. So then we had the Rams at the Seahawks. Rams favored by 1.5. Rams are looking good right now.
Yeah.
Now they got their weapons back. Nakua was ejected for throwing a punch, but Rams didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, I missed that. I was kind of watching that game. I was at a B-dubs, and those obviously.
I don't even understand why he threw the punch. The guy was blocking on an interception. I mean, he didn't need to be blocking, but it wasn't worth throwing a punch. And
he was mad about the interception, I guess. I don't know.
I like it. It looks like a Palomalu out there. He was notoriously like the nicest man alive, but
not on the field.
Don't catch him on the field.
Don't catch him on the field.
And then we had Sunday Night Football, the Colts at the Vikings. Minnesota was favored by 5.5. Brett, you had the Colts winning outright, which they did not.
Yeah, I just really wanted that to happen.
Yeah. Once again, our biases creep in.
Yeah, I'm bad at it.
I had Minnesota winning and covering They did not cover, but they won, so it's a tie. Buccaneers at the Chiefs to round out the week. Buccaneers gave them a run for their money, that's for sure. Baker just keeps chugging along, even without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Sounds like Evans should be back here in the next week or two.
Imagine if they would have had Evans. They would have made you look so silly for doubting Baker.
More Baker interceptions when he's forcing it to Mike, because that's all he's
got. You had Tampa Bay winning outright, which
is another thing.
Another hopeful pick there that didn't pan out.
I mean, though, it was one of those. It was hopeful, but also I was like, I could see it happening, and it almost did.
Yeah, it did look reasonable going into the last few minutes of the fourth quarter.
Baker, a dog.
No, he's not. He's a dog.
Which moves our records to. I'll have to get the winning percentages next week, but I'm sitting at 33, 12, and 15. Brett's at 32, 18, and 10. So still winning records, but definitely come down from the start.
Yeah, we started off hot.
Tough sledding. It's tough sledding out there. Yeah. Moving on to the preview week 9.
Weird things happening.
Thursday night football, we got a divisional matchup between the 4-5 Bengals traveling to Baltimore to take on the 6-3 Ravens. Ravens favored by 6.5 in that one. I have Cincinnati covering, but I think the Ravens squeak it out. I think the Bengals are playing pretty good, and then, like I said, divisional game.
Yeah.
Thursday night football tends to be a little lower scoring, so I think they can stick with them.
And they're at least Hubbard a little bit banged up, so we'll see if he even plays. And with a depleted defensive line, obviously Henry would have a day. So I do think they cover, but unfortunately, I don't think that they win.
By the way, kind of under the radar, Trey Hendrickson leads the league in sacks right now with 11.
Yeah.
He had a big game this week. I forget exactly how many he had, but
11 sacks through 9 games. That's nice.
Impressive.
That's very good. That's one of the. I was hoping the Bengals would keep losing so the Lions could make a move for Hendrickson and repair him with DJ Reader, but Cincinnati looks like they're making a push for the playoffs again. So who do you got?
Same
thing.
Cincinnati cover. Joe's too hot to let him get behind too much, but Lamar's gonna pull it out in the end.
Yeah, well, we're all on the same page, so don't bet on that.
Bengals by 30.
or Ravens by 30.
Or that.
Then moving on to Sunday. Again, no Sunday morning game. Or actually, wait, is there a Sunday morning game?
Okay. Honestly, Germany had this coming.
Seriously. Is there going to be anybody there?
Yeah.
They deserve it.
2-7 Giants at the 2-7 Panthers.
A little late on the payback, but
sorry about it, Germany.
Here it is.
Giants are favored by 5.5 in that one.
The most exciting thing I think about this game actually is that Jamie Erdahl is going to actually hand deliver the Angry Run Scepter to Daniel Jones this week. So that'll be exciting.
She's had a
fun
week.
2 weeks.
She got to do the skull chant and did she do the horn also?
Yeah, she did all that, and now
By
she
the
gets
way,
to go to Munich. And
she needed to practice her form because she locked her fingers on the first skull. That ain't it.
You goofy woman.
I wonder if she noticed that after anybody pointed it out.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure she noticed it right when she did it.
Yeah. But she was hyped, so probably lost her mentals. I have the Giants winning and covering that one.
Giants actually, crap, I don't know. Who can show up again?
Right. It's a home game for the Panthers, if that sways you.
No, it doesn't. Because
it's
actually an away game for both teams. I think I agree. I think this is probably the only time I'll ever say this. I think I like Daniel Jones better in this situation.
This is one of the tougher picks for me this week. That spread's right exactly where I would put it at, I think.
I like a Giants win, but a Panthers cover.
There you go.
Panthers cover.
Let's give them. We'll see if their little mini 1-game hot streak keeps up.
See if Bryce Young got his confidence back.
Next up, we got looks like the 2-7 Patriots at the 4-4 Bears. Chicago's favored by 6 in this one. The Pats are bad. I think the Bears get a little bit of a ego boost here, and they win and cover that spread. Just a real bummer right before they go play a bummed out Packers team, but I don't think it'll be too big of a deal.
Why don't you go ahead, Roman?
I'm gonna go. Bears win, but Patriots cover.
Okay.
That is also what I had. I think the Bears pull it out, but I think I don't know. I like what I've seen from Drake May.
Sure. This feels like one of those actually good performances from Caleb Williams this week. So
yeah,
I think they're gonna put up numbers again.
Yeah, I might be picking with my heart a little bit on that one because I would really love to see the Bears lose. I think they win, but yeah, I'm picking the Patriots to cover. Moving on, we have the 6-2 Vikings traveling to Jacksonville to take on the 2-7 Jaguars. Minnesota actually only favored by 4 in that one. I like that one to bet for Minnesota against the spread, I think. Although we just said the Jaguars playing nobody close.
Keeping it tight and against good teams. Maybe this is when they figure it out.
Maybe squeak out a win.
I shouldn't pick with my heart because it always screws me. But I just want the Jags to win. They've been right there. I'm going to take them to win that.
In Jacksonville, I like a straight up win for the Jags.
It's going to be a little too hot for Sammy down there.
Yeah, I think so.
Sounds like an opportunity for me to pick up a game on our records.
Or maybe an opportunity for me.
We know you're not confident when you go into the higher octave.
Uh-huh.
Next, I got the 6-3 Falcons taking on the abysmal 2-7 Saints. It's another one that I like the spread a lot. Yeah, Atlanta only favored by 3.5.
Terrible.
Yeah, no, Atlanta will cover.
I might have seen. Is that what it says? The spread is still
3.5.
I was curious if after they trade Lattimore, if it had moved. But I guess I looked it up after the trade. Actually, also. Yeah, I do like that line.
It's kind of a shot to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta playing good. I mean, divisional matchup again. We always say it. Never know what's going to happen, but Saints are not good.
No. So Atlanta's covering that.
Yep.
No arguments there.
Next, we got the 4-4 49ers traveling down to Tampa, the 4-5 Bucks.
By the way, those two records are not what I would have predicted at the beginning of the season.
San Francisco favored by 5.5. McCaffrey back this week?
Yeah, it sounds like he might be on a snap count, but he should be back.
He's been at practice. Shoot.
We in Tampa?
Kareem. Yeah, in Tampa. Okay. Kareem was kind of having an easy go of it. I feel like it's going to be McCaffrey's first game back.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Just to forewarn you, I did say that if McCaffrey's back, I have, which I think he will be, that I think San Francisco wins and covers. If he's not back, I think they win but don't cover.
I think I'm going to play it safe on this one and say that I'm just going to say Bucks cover.
I like a Bucks cover either way, but San Francisco pulls out a win.
Okay.
Next, we have the 7-2 Buffalo Bills at the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts. Buffalo favored by 4.5 in that one.
Yeah, Buffalo wins and they cover. I think that 4 and 5 record is a little bit deceiving. As in, they're worse than that. They should be a 2-7 type of team. So Buffalo's definitely
poor Jonathan Taylor.
What a waste.
Yeah, poor guy.
It's kind of like New York Saquon. Do you guys know what his contract situation is? Is he locked up there long term, Jonathan Taylor?
I don't think so, because I haven't heard. It definitely hasn't been a deal in the last couple of years, unless it flew under the radar. That could be.
He signed a 3-year, $42 million contract in last year.
Oh, well, dang, poor kid.
I mean, 3 years, not too long. If he's an expiring contract next season,
28 when he's
looks like he has a player option for 2026.
Okay.
Is a player option?
Yeah, so he might be able to get out
of that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go elsewhere. Although who knows? Maybe Richardson gets in better shape so he can play a full game, and then does better. But
I feel like after watching them play this week that they sent their message to Richardson. They got to be a better leader than that, and be careful about what you say. I think they should put him back in there because Flacco's obviously not doing it for you. You want to figure out what you have in Anthony Richardson now, so that you can move on.
This season kind of a wash. I don't think you're doing anything, so let Richardson figure out what he's got.
There's no upside to starting Flacco if you're not making the playoffs, which they are not.
Especially not at this point.
Yeah.
So. And then next up, still in the 1 o'clock slate, we've got the 5-4 Broncos going to Arrowhead to take on the 8-0 Chiefs.
Oh, goody.
Kansas City's favored by 8. Unfortunately, I feel like Kansas City covers that. They are getting hot and they're getting scary.
Yeah.
The Broncos actually defeated the Chiefs in their last matchup. At the end of last season, so I don't see that happening again. I think Kansas City. I think Kansas City wins big.
That being said, I agree with what Brett said.
I said that weirdly, but that's what I was leading into. That I don't see Denver beating them 2 in a row, especially not in Arrowhead.
Hit them with the old razzle dazzle.
Yeah.
8-point spread.
Yep.
Yeah. Broncos cover, no?
I hope so.
I think so.
You think so?
I think a Broncos cover.
Okay.
There we go.
I think a Broncos cover there.
Maybe the defense wakes back up.
I mean, come on. They were hot. Just, they just ran into a buzzsaw there.
Yeah, and the Kansas City's offense hasn't been elite by any means this season. So
I like it. Bo Nix has been solid as a rookie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If they had
looks like the right
any weapons whatsoever, I'd be really curious to see what they look like.
Right?
I was a little disappointed they didn't make
wide receiver trade.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they're not in win now mode, so save your assets, but
sure.
Moving on, we got the 6-2 Steelers taking on the 7-2 Commanders. That's a good matchup there. Washington favored by 3, which I think is about where that line should be.
Yeah. I think Washington wins and covers. I like that. I like the. I guess it depends on how quickly they get these guys going that both teams just traded for, but you put Lattimore in there.
So much better.
Yeah, and Russell's definitely playing better.
Steelers made some moves.
I think he's still Russell. They did.
They
but
Preston. Was it Preston Smith, right? Preston to go alongside TJ.
Yeah. Oh, Preston. Preston might be able to wreak havoc if he's all that attention's on TJ. But
Mike Williams to go with already revamped wide receiver.
Preston's not going to have to get up to speed because you don't have to get up to speed on rushing a quarterback. Rushing a quarterback's rushing a quarterback.
Yeah, they'll probably bring him in on third downs for sure.
Yeah. Specialist.
Pass situations. Mm-hmm. I don't know how he is against the run, but
I mean he's good all around. He's not catching up. He's not catching Jaden if Jaden gets any type of movement. Preston's a big dude. He's one of the more heavy set DNs.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know how good I feel about that pick, but I'm gonna stick with it. Washington's gonna cover.
And I, to you, in addition, feel the same feelings that you are as well. Office quote, if nobody got that. I have the Commanders winning by a touchdown, I think. I think they win and cover. Although Steelers have surprised me almost every week. Mm-hmm. So we'll see.
I like Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Mr. Against the Grain over here.
I like Pittsburgh winning.
There you go.
Mike Tomlin.
I mean, I like it too.
I like Tomlin.
I like both. I like both options.
Yeah.
I just picked the Washington one.
I want Washington to win the division over the Eagles, so maybe picking with my heart a little bit. But
I don't like
because that's where I wanted to go too.
Also, Russell Wilson.
He looks all right now.
He does.
A little resurgence, 2-game resurgence.
But there's a little bit of saltiness there. And completely warranted.
No.
Only a little.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
Next, we got the 2-6 Titans traveling out to SoFi to take on the 5-3 Chargers. Chargers favored by 7.5. That's a big
spread.
That's a big spread. I think Chargers win.
Bit of a trap game.
But I think Titans probably cover the 7.5. But Chargers definitely win that one.
It's a bit of a trap game. So, yeah, I like Chargers win, but Titans cover.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I watched the Titans play the Lions, and I don't believe that for a second. I think Chargers win by a decent margin. I have them winning and covering.
Chargers are notorious for playing down in these types of games, so
yeah,
I don't trust them.
Yeah, I haven't watched.
Love them.
I haven't
Don't
watched
trust
a
them.
ton of Chargers, but I've watched a little bit more of them since Herbert's got there because I like him, and yeah, they're good at being bad in weird times.
No.
it's kind of a Chargers thing.
Yeah. Love them, but don't trust them.
Next, we have the 6-2 Eagles at the 3-5 Cowboys. Preseason looked like a big, good matchup. Not so much right now. Philadelphia favored by 7.5.
Helping decide the division matchup, but still does a little bit because Eagles.
Got to keep up.
Yeah, Eagles got to keep up. Got a chance to take first in division if Commanders lose, but favored by, you said 7.5, and I think that they cover that, especially with Dak out. Cooper's not one of those backups that's going to come in and
He doesn't have that one game though.
throw 5
That
touchdowns.
one game right off the bat.
No.
Not throwing 5 touchdowns.
He's not.
CeeDee Lamb might be out also.
He's not that type.
Got a
of
shoulder injury,
No.
and with Prescott out, I have a feeling they're
Without
just,
CD, yeah.
why not hold CD out?
Yeah.
I know it's not.
I was just hypothetical there, but I was going to
Who
say
did,
Eagles.
they also
made
made a move for a wide receiver today, but it was
Who was
nobody that moves the needle.
It starts with M, doesn't it?
Yeah. Tells you how good he is.
Yeah, he's. I had heard the name.
Jonathan Mingo from the
Mingo.
Panthers,
Yes.
which they gave up more for him than the Chiefs gave up for DeAndre Hopkins. So Cowboys keep on making
Just
terrible
amazing.
decisions.
And
Everybody looks smart.
and also, more importantly, everyone keeps helping the frickin' Kansas City Chiefs.
Don't get me started. It's just
terrible.
like the Patriots during their dynasty.
Helping him for cheap.
Why do you do it?
At least make
Why
it
do you do it?
expensive. At least make it expensive.
Right. So, no, yeah, Eagles win and cover that. That's not gonna be a fun game for Cowboys. Next up, we got the 3-6 Jets going to Arizona to take on the Cardinals, who are 5-4. Cardinals favored by 1.
Ooh, Arizona wins, but Jets cover. Arizona wins by half a point. Lock it in.
Lock it in. I'm
Bet the house.
Bet the house. I got the Jets in this one. They have to keep winning, and they have enough experience on their team that I think they keep that second half going because it's actually do or die. For whatever reason, they waited till it was do or die
To do.
but no, I think that second half is going to be that confidence boost they needed, and I think they carry that on. Cardinals are good, and they've only been getting better, but they're still, I think, the Cardinals.
Yeah, I think Jets are in that squeak into the playoff mode right now, so they're going to come out firing.
Do or die mode, I think they die.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I have Arizona winning that one, although I do think that's a good spot for the spread to be. I see that as basically a pick'em game, but I like what I've seen from Kyler this year. Potential comeback player of the year candidate, maybe. I forget what the new requirements are for comeback player of the year, but has looked pretty good. And we have Sunday Night Football. We talked about before. 7-1 Lions taking on the 6-3 Texans. Lions favored by 3.5 in that one on the road.
Easy pick for the Lions, if you ask me.
Yeah, and I think they cover that.
I think the Texans are kind of a fluke
I said,
this year.
I don't think they're a 6-3 team. I think they ended up on the right side of a couple really close games that weren't super indicative of how good they are. They've shown me too much not good the last few weeks, so I think Lions.
It's a matchup of weaknesses. The Lions' pass rush should be better with Tre'Davious, but has not been good since Hutchinson went out. But the Texans' offensive line is terrible.
They'll get 6 sacks this week.
I think there was they had quite a few. Not the Lions. The Texans gave up quite a few last week, so it's possible.
I think, it was a lot. I feel like it was like 8 or something, but
yeah.
And then to round out the week, we got the 2-6 Dolphins, also heading out to SoFi to take on the Rams. We're 4-4. Rams are favored by 2.5, and the Rams have been hot, and I have them winning that and covering.
God bless the custodial staff at SoFi having to clean up after games 2 days in a row. Yeah, I also have the. Wait, you said you have Rams
covering?
Rams
covering,
okay. Yeah, I also think the Rams. I think they win actually by at least a touchdown on that one. Dolphins also kind of in do or die mode, but Rams are hot right now. I think so.
Yeah.
What you got?
Yeah, they're do or die mode, but I don't think it's enough to go beat the hot Rams. So.
Yeah. No.
If you would have told me before the season the Dolphins would be 2-7, I would not have believed you.
No,
my gosh,
I wouldn't have either. Even since Tua got back, they don't.
They don't look right.
No.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill's killing me in fantasy.
Yeah.
All right, so we mentioned last week that we're going to make some mid-season picks here, do some predictions for the NFL awards at the end of the season, and also, since we weren't recording yet at the beginning of the season, we'll make some playoff predictions, both who we think is going to make the playoffs and then who we think makes their way through the bracket, as it were, and pick our eventual champs. Let's start with some awards predictions. Go with Defensive Rookie of the Year to start. Why don't you go ahead, Brett?
This one I struggle with because, you don't notice him as much. But when I've watched the Rams, I really liked Jared Verse. Dude seems to be good. I mean, obviously not replacing Aaron Donald yet, but he looks like he's going to be their new.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Nobody just padding stats looking like a game changer right now. No.
We've got
really no one. I like Evan Williams, Packers safety.
He was another one. He was he graded second among safeties. I'm not sure where that's at now, but him, and then also I've liked both of the corners over in Philly. DeJean's finally getting starts, and he's looking. I've only seen him here and there, but when I do, he looks
so smart
like
to go back to back on the corners.
He's white. It can't last.
Right.
Maybe he's it. Maybe he's it.
Maybe
he's it.
Yeah. So.
I kind of tried to go with a little sneaky pick here. I had Jared versus my runner-up, but I actually had Will McDonald for the Jets. I don't know what he's done the last couple weeks, but he was tearing it up.
I totally forgot about him. He has been.
And I was very surprised when I looked at the betting odds that he wasn't anywhere near the top, but he has been. I mean, in part, it's because the voters and bettors seem to focus too much on teams that or on guys that have team success, which obviously the Jets haven't to this point. But every time I've watched the Jets play, he's kind of jumped off the screen at me. So, that was my pick for Defensive Player of the Year.
Also, he plays so well, I honestly forgot he was a rookie.
Yeah.
Is he a rookie, though? He's not a rookie.
He's not?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn he got picked this year. Well, that's
your two.
I'm probably not going to get that pick right then.
That threw me off. I was like, he's got like 8 sacks, so he would be winning this match.
Yeah.
Okay,
that makes sense.
2023 draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, apparently he didn't jump off the screen last year because I forgot that he was.
Once you said that, though, he was
25.
Yeah.
Once you said that, I feel like I swear they were calling him a rookie during the game, either
you had me,
this week or the week before.
And then I was like, he's got 8 sacks. There's no way he's not leading rookie of the year.
All right.
Anywho, so Jared Verse. Jared Verse is also my pick.
Gotcha. Tricked you.
I'm going to pick Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the ones I had in my backups there for other dudes. But that takes us to our next one, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
So wide open.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anybody at this point.
It could be anybody. And honestly, I couldn't decide.
Michael Penix.
I just decided.
Easy pickings.
Offensive Rookie, worst pick.
Yeah. No, obviously, we're being facetious, and Jaden Daniels.
My gosh.
Don't need to say much. Close.
I will say that I feel like Brock Bowers is getting overlooked. He's on pace to break most rookie receiving records for a tight end.
Yeah.
But because their team is terrible, and because for a lot of the season he's been their only reliable target.
That, and then also something get into it in a second. I think that Daniels gets that nod instead. But another one that I think would be had he went somewhere else in the running, Malik Neighbors.
Yep, he was my third.
He's been
this entire rookie wide receiver class.
Yeah,
could win on just as a group.
Yeah,
LSU
Thomas
wide receivers.
LSU wide. You just go specific LSU wide receivers.
But Malik, if he had an actual quarterback, he would be, I think, doing a lot more.
Great what he's doing with what he's got.
Yeah,
so it's not
Yeah,
bad.
he's a beast.
But
it's Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. He's literally gonna have to like not play the rest of the year.
Right. Which I think takes us to.
Plus, they almost always give that to a quarterback.
It's a quarterback.
It's a decent run.
Playing that good.
But I think this year, quarterback, he deserves it. Even,
Oh yeah.
Not just with the quarterback bias.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see what happens second half of the season, but right now he's a shoe-in.
Yeah. What we got next?
Moving on, I got the comeback player of the year, which we mentioned that they changed some of the requirements for the award, but
this one,
nobody really
great
to choose from. But
I think if we're picking what we've seen so far this year, I'd say Burrow. He's playing great. Kirk's been playing well.
I put Kirk above him just because of how he's
too.
leading his team a little better right now. They're 6-3.
Sure, 6. Yeah, I mean
they're in the playoffs right now versus Bengals are not.
Yeah, I think by the end of the season, maybe hot take, it's going to be between Burrow and Rodgers.
But my heart wants to throw J.K. Dobbins in there though.
Oh,
I like the story.
Yeah. A lot of injuries in his past.
All his ligaments are not even.
He actually he doesn't have any anymore.
He has no. J.K. Dobbins has no knee ligaments at all.
They're just his knees are just free floating.
They're just free floating.
He's been playing.
He's actually just playing through all the pain right now.
I forget about him as a candidate for that too.
Who's that?
Dobbins.
But he's kind of fallen off the last couple of weeks too.
He started off real hot,
bottling him up a little bit. So
somebody offered me a first round pick in our dynasty league for him early in the season, and with all his injury, I
I see what you're saying.
I gave him up for a first round pick.
Yeah.
Now homeboy's got 4 first round picks this year.
Beautiful.
5 first round picks this year. I have 4 in 2026.
I love running back desperation.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Who you got for your comeback?
I had Kirk Cousins also.
Okay.
Team success obviously factors a little bit into it, maybe a little more than it should.
Sure.
Plus, I don't know, Burrow. How much time did he miss last year?
Played 10 games.
10 games. Okay. So
he wasn't really on my radar as far as comeback.
Yeah.
I was thinking Damar Hamlin.
Well, yeah, he died.
Yeah. And not only that, because like last year he was. Who won it last year?
I don't remember who won it.
Was it Flacco?
Year.
Wasn't he up for it last year too, though?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
But last year he was going to win it because he came back to the NFL. This year he's actually been playing pretty good. At least he was early on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had Kirk Cousins for that one.
Could Damar win it this year though?
He's near the top of betting odds. So
I just feel like since it wasn't last year that he was out.
Yeah.
Last year he just didn't play much because he didn't have a starting spot.
Well, I barely made the team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to figure out what the new requirements are, but he was near the top of the betting odds when I looked.
Sure.
Kyler Murray was actually up there too, and he played most of the year last year, didn't he?
J.K. Dobbins has no knees though, so
I mean it's obviously him.
I just want to throw that out there.
So yeah, next one, Coach of the Year. I've got Dan Quinn. He's that team has been so bad for so long, and then he comes in with a rookie quarterback, and they're 7-2, and they don't look like they're slowing down. They look like they're just heating up. The last couple weeks, Daniels has been injured, not like anything that really inhibits playing, but he's having to play through pain, and now they've got better defense, so like they're just going to keep getting better. So I got Dan Quinn there.
Yeah.
A couple other ones I'd like to mention is obviously, and I mean, because they're always good, it probably gets overlooked, but Andy Reid with a terrible performing Mahomes still winning every game, and Matt LaFleur winning a couple games with who everyone thought was garbage, Malik Willis.
Yeah.
In the absence in there. Also, he's been looked over the last however many years.
You say that, but at what point do we give it to Dan Campbell? What does he have to do? Does he have to win? Every coach has to win the Super Bowl, and I think he has to. It sounds like.
I think he gets overlooked because, like, as far as like actual during the games, it's a lot. The coordinator's doing stuff, and then like last year, it was him making silly decisions on fourth downs, like when they shouldn't have. So like. I think in a lot of people's eyes, as far as the coaching staff, he might be if you could call it a weak link there, he's that. Because
least qualified?
Not least qualified.
Not qualified, but like...
He's the, like, Ben Johnson, genius. But like his actual not making coaching. Mistakes. Yeah. Dan Campbell doing silly things in the postseason. I think that kind of left a bad taste in some people's mouth. But I guess I haven't seen much of that this year from him.
I do believe that Dan Quinn will win it. I do kind of hate that it almost always seems to go just towards the most shocking team, the team that surprised the most. But like Roman was saying, I feel like Dan Campbell has obviously completely helped turn around that franchise from a joke into one of the top teams in the league, set up for not only success this year, but going forward. And obviously they don't, like, momentum doesn't carry over for awards, but I feel like he's got to win one at some point.
At some point, come on.
Plus, literally, like, maybe it's just because we're in Michigan and I'm a Lions fan, but I hear more good things about Dan Campbell from, like, his staff and his players than, not that you hear bad things about the coaches, but just overwhelmingly positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I also had Jim Harbaugh. As a potential runner-up.
Had thought about, but
how about Mike Tomlin winning one for once?
Yeah, has he not won?
He's never won Coach of the Year.
He should win something bigger than Coach of the Year.
I mean,
what he's done for so long.
Black Jesus of the Year.
What he's done for so long there, just always, as bad as that team has gotten, like roster-wise, always winning record.
Yeah, always winning record.
Consistently
in the playoffs. Like
he might not get Coach of the Year, but he'll get he'll be remembered as one of the best coaches in the history of the NFL.
At least one. You got to give him at least one. But I don't know.
Yeah. What one was your pick?
I got to go Dan.
Okay.
I just got to give it to Dan.
Well, there's two Dans, so what one are you saying?
Dan Campbell.
Okay. MCDC.
Dan Campbell. Dan Quinn, what he's doing is great, but
MCDC COI.
As far as the surprising thing, I get when it's I feel like because of how bad they have been, and it's like his first year as the coach, I think like that's why because he came in and completely turned that around seemingly in 1 year. We'll see how the rest of the year pans out, but next up, we're going Defensive Player of the Year. This one was tough. I mean, T.J. Watt's a total game destroyer, game changing type of guy. But then my bias is just because of how hot McKinney's been. I wanted to mention him because I think through the first 6 weeks or something, he had allowed a passer rating of 0, and then I think the next week gave up a catch for like 6 yards or something, and I think that passer rating was
he's really falling
like in
off.
the 30s, and tied now for leading the league in picks. So my biases made me want to mention him, but also he's a little bit deserving of being mentioned.
Yeah, there's another award that I feel like it always goes to one position, pass rusher, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I have T.J. Watt sitting right now, but I also wanted to mention I feel like Hutchinson was gonna be the defensive player of the year.
I didn't type it in there, but I was thinking that when I was writing stuff to mention him.
I thought you said the pass rusher thing because you were gonna throw Patrick Surtain out there.
Throw what?
I thought you were gonna throw Patrick Surtain out there. Because I think
before he got injured and before the last couple of weeks, he was up there in contention. He's had a rough couple weeks, but just hasn't made the big plays he was making early on, and it's tough to
I just thought you were
Tough
going to
to
give him
win
a
as a
shout out.
corner.
I thought you were going to just give him a shout out.
I mean, to me,
Deserving.
he's one of the most valuable defensive players in
Yeah.
the league.
Yeah.
Both age, just I don't know, just everything about him. But
Yep.
yeah, I wanted to mention Hutch there.
I'll give it to TJ, but I want to throw Dexter Lawrence a little love.
Sexy Dexy.
Nine
I
sacks.
thought about that too.
9 sacks.
And 9 sacks, and maybe the most fun celebration.
Oh.
His little like twerking thing.
9 sacks, and he plays like true defensive tackle.
Uh-huh.
So
It's
Yeah.
I
impressive.
think it's impressive.
I do like his. I do like the
unfortunately,
sexy
his
Dexy.
team holds him back. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Moving on to Offensive Player of the Year.
Derrick Henry.
Not much debate
and
on
then
this one.
moving on to
Yeah, Henry leads the NFL in rushing yards,
He
including
already-
yards per game, touchdowns.
at week 9.
5th quickest to
He's
100
already
touchdowns
got
of
a
all time.
great season, stats wise.
Yeah.
Over
Yeah,
1,000
over
yards,
1,000
11
yards.
touchdowns.
Jeez.
That's a season.
My gosh.
That's a great season for a running
That's
back.
insane.
So yeah, I mean he's pretty much seems like a clear runaway, but
It's unfortunate because the year Saquon's having.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
he's,
some other
he's
good-
runner
what
up,
are you
but
gonna do?
there's a little gap there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Could have had him, Dallas.
Yeah. And then moving on to the big one, the most valuable player. This one's a bit up in the air right now. There's a couple different ways I looked at it. I mean, if you're talking about just like being Josh Allen, obviously playing great. He's producing. He's not turning the ball over.
Bills are
Bills
doing
are
good.
doing great.
Yeah.
Same with Lamar.
You think he gets? I feel like because he's having his
I
best
feel
season
his
so
best
far.
year, but
Yeah.
because he's already
Recency
won
bias
it.
though is going to kill him. Though I think
A little bit.
two
But I mean,
MVPs now.
people win them back to back. Rodgers won them back to back. Favre won 3 in a row.
Yeah, but he's at 2 MVPs without really being proven yet, like win wise. So I don't know.
I guess. But if he stays at this rate,
Yeah.
he's
He's got to be up there.
Yeah. But and this is a little bit just for fun, but also because dude's a dog, and without him, his team is not even close to being anything. Baker Mayfield is playing, I think, his best season and is playing MVP worthy. I know they have a losing record, but he just almost had a winning record against the reigning champs, what everyone says is the best team in the league, with throwing to Sterling Shepard. I don't know if you guys remember him, but he used to be good for the Giants way back in the day.
You mean throwing to Chris Godwin
and
and
then
Mike Evans for 7 games
I'm
of the
talking
season?
about the game that he just played against the reigning champs. And then also Scotty Miller, who has, I think, one good play in his career. And, of course, that was against maybe the worst corner in NFL history, Kevin or Kenny King, if you're the announcers. So he's not doing any – he's got Kate Otten, which was no one before this year. So he's – and, dude – I mean, he's scrambling and putting his shoulder into people on third downs to pick up first downs. He's leading the league in touchdowns. He's second in the league in yards. Baker Mayfield's got a case for himself, as much as you hate it.
Will also probably lead the league in interceptions by the end of the year, but that's fine.
Oh no! Hey, don't you worry. My boy Jordan Love's got that in the bag.
How about like if Derrick Henry, like he's on pace to break the rushing record?
No, so absolutely. Henry.
Like if he
Henry
breaks that,
deserves it, but
with 20 touchdowns on top
we're
of
also
that?
trying to predict
it's a
what's
quarterback
gonna
or
get
what- yeah,
what's
it's a
gonna
quarterback.
get
You're
selected,
correct.
and
You're
it's
correct.
never gonna be a running
That's
back.
my heart. That's my heart
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jared Goff too.
Yeah,
Just a little shout out.
I was gonna at least give him a shout out. Right now I have Josh Allen as my prediction. Kind of mentioned it. I think Lamar's having the best season of his career, but because he's already won a couple, I think he's got to prove that he can maybe not necessarily win a Super Bowl, but make a deep playoff run before they're going to consider giving him another one.
Sure.
And then I wanted to mention
As
Goff
much as that's not supposed to be factored in, but
right, but it is. Everybody
Yeah.
knows. Then I'll mention Goff and even Daniels, even though he's we have him for offensive rookie of the year. He's kind of clearly been top.
Now I wonder,
one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So
has a rookie ever won MVP? Because that would also be nuts. Comes out, wins MVP and the Super Bowl. Yes, there have been rookies.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown is the only rookie to win an NFL MVP award. 1957.
I remember that.
Me too. Back when I was just a young, spry kid. What is? So, who you got?
Jared. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Jared Goff.
Jared
Josh
Allen.
Allen.
Hey,
Josh Allen.
don't laugh at that.
Josh Goff. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing. He's been playing as good as he can, and then hasn't been having those issues. So
He's
keeping
the picks down.
Right now,
That's
it's
what's
feeling
gonna
like
help
Josh
out.
Allen.
Yeah.
But dude, would I love a Baker Mayfield MVP?
Oh,
That'd
boy.
be so
That-
fun.
I'm not
That ain't
watching it.
happening.
No, it's not, but it'd be fun.
I'm not watching the
Who knows?
NFL game again.
Who knows? Maybe with Evans coming back in a couple weeks, they make a playoff push, and I mean, on pace for like 43, 44 touchdowns.
So are like 4 other quarterbacks, though.
Huh?
So are like a bunch of other quarterbacks. Lamar's on the same pace.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's like I think he's at like 23. I think touchdowns. The next guy's at 20. I think
Yeah.
Lamar's at like 19 or something.
Yeah.
But
Sorry,
it'd
that's
be
my
fun.
Baker bias.
Yeah, I know. You hate
Creeping
him.
in.
You hate him because he took down your Texas chode horns.
Just to clear up your guys' little spat there. I got
Yeah.
Baker is leading the league in touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
9 interceptions.
Lamar right behind him. With Joe Burrow,
Burrow,
as well.
with
Yeah.
Burrow and Lamar with 20.
Mhm.
Allen, Cousins, Darnold with 17. Love, Rodgers, Goff. So, and way down there, Mahomes. Why is he in the MVP
He should.
odds?
Yeah, he should be
don't.
plus 15,000.
I'll give you the touchdown argument. That's where it ends.
Also, playing the hardest, carrying his entire team because he's getting no help on offense. He's running the ball. He's throwing the ball. He's doing everything.
No help on offense for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, because
Okay.
Evans was out some other weeks too. He came back and then retweaked it. So
Okay.
that's all I'm saying. And what kind of solidified it for me was that performance against the Chiefs.
I mean, it was good, but
It was more than good.
I think you guys are forgetting Geno Smith.
Oh,
He's
shoot.
He's actually leading the league in
I know
passing
he
yards,
is,
but
which weird.
yeah. To close things out, we'll make some playoff picks. You guys want to start NFC or AFC?
Let's start AFC because I feel like less people care about the AFC.
yeah.
Fair enough.
It's less exciting lately.
Let's start with our 1 seed, since we'll start at the top, since we got to start with division winners.
Yeah, and let's get this annoying bullcrap out of the way. 1
Yep.
seed's going to be the
Yeah.
stupid Chiefs. Is what I got.
Yep. Same.
2 seed, I got Buffalo.
Buffalo. Yeah.
Same.
Steelers.
Oh,
I
Steelers.
got Baltimore.
I got Ravens.
Okay. That one I was struggling with a little bit, but
But don't count out the Bengals. Just yet.
real quick
Yeah.
though, I think that Derrick Henry's age has got to catch up to him. And when he's at 750 touches when it comes to week 13, he's going to probably start to wear down. So I think obviously Ravens will still be in playoffs, but
So that was our first difference of opinion there.
and then
Moving on to the 4 seed.
Texans.
Same.
You got
4
4 seed.
seeds. I have the Texans. Yep.
And then at our wild
First
card
wild
spots, first wild card Ravens.
Steelers.
All right.
First wild card is the Bengals.
Okay.
Okay. I have them in my playoffs, but
Yep. I have them coming up
I
first.
have them. Well, we'll
Actually
move
don't.
on to number 6. I have the Chargers,
I too have the Chargers.
I have the Steelers.
Okay.
Yeah.
and then number 7,
I got the Jets squeaking in.
I have the Bengals at number 7.
Chargers.
Who did you not have in?
Hey,
So
who
it
are
would
missing
have
from
been. Say yours again. What do you got?
Pittsburgh, Chargers. You have the Chargers?
Yep.
Bengals? No Bengals?
Keep the you kept the Bengals on?
I
No
got
Bengals.
No Bengals. That's what it was.
No
Yeah.
Bengals.
Yeah,
Okay.
no Bengals.
No Bengals.
So we got Jets or Bengals is our difference of who's making the playoffs. So who do you guys have winning the Buffalo-Cincinnati matchup? Or, well, no, I guess we'll have to go through our brackets.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
So
go through yours.
after Wild Card Week, I got it left with Kansas City, Steelers, Ravens, Jets.
I have Kansas City going against the Texans in the divisional round after the Texans beat the Steelers. And then I have Buffalo beating Cincinnati to move on and take on Baltimore, who I have beating the Chargers.
Guess I should have explained that a little bit. Jets, I got beating Buffalo. And then let me line it up. Steelers, I've got beating the Chargers, and then I've got the Ravens taking out the Texans that wild card week.
Yep, go Bills beating the Chargers, Ravens taking out the Steelers, and then Bengals.
Oh, you had a
upsetting.
Ravens-Steelers divisional wild card matchup.
Yep.
I like that.
Exciting.
Bengals beating the Texans.
Oh,
Nice.
Yep.
with the upset.
With the upset.
So then moving past the divisional round, I've got the Jets taking out Kansas City because I just need Kansas City to get taken out of the playoffs. I can kind of see it happening, but that's just my heart, and I like to put that stuff out into the ether. And then I've got the Steelers beating the Ravens there. So I've got a Jets-Steelers AFC championship.
So, in other words, you have the Jets winning 10 games in a row.
You still have the Jets?
Or
up there?
9-1.
Mm-hmm.
9-1 at the worst.
Okay.
I have Kansas City beating Houston, probably handily, unfortunately. Even though I had Houston as my preseason Super Bowl pick from the AFC. And then I have Baltimore taking out Buffalo to set up a Kansas City-Baltimore AFC championship game.
I have Chiefs beating the Bengals. With the Ravens taking out the Bills.
That'll
to set
upset
up
me.
a Chiefs-Ravens matchup.
I would love to see that.
Oh,
Cincinnati
and
Kansas City matchup again.
and just to
Come
continue
on,
on,
Bengals.
Lamar's getting it this time. He's getting him to the Super Bowl.
There you go.
He's getting him to the Super Bowl.
I got the Jets taking out the Steelers and going to the Super Bowl. I've seen too much Aaron Rodgers, and I think he could do it again if he wanted to.
All right.
I have Baltimore beating Kansas City finally. Tickling my heart a little bit on that one, but I think I finally see Baltimore getting over the top.
Well, definitely did through all of this. Things that I could see happening that probably won't, but it'd be super cool to call them.
Great if it all happens.
Uh-huh.
I will hate that. Moving on to the NFC. I guess I'll go first. I have Detroit hanging on to the 1 seed.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Already have wins in Minnesota and Green Bay, so
Yep.
I think unless they really trip up, they've got that division pretty well locked down.
Yeah.
I actually
Even if
have
Packers win out, that doesn't get them.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
I actually have Philly moving up to the 2 spot.
Ooh, I did too.
And I have
Okay.
them take. I don't remember if we were going just in order, but I have Philadelphia facing off against the 49ers, who I have squeaking in at the 7th seed.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, we could do it that way.
where are we going?
We had said the
One,
whole
1, 2, 2, yeah.
we had said the whole seeding and then went
Okay,
into that.
you go ahead and do your number 1 then.
Okay, yeah, Lions. I think
Lions.
we all agreed.
Yep.
Lions.
Okay.
And then at number 2, I had the Commanders. I have
I
them.
have the Eagles taking.
I have
that
them
one.
taking that division.
So we all agree it's the NFC East winner is going to be the 2nd seed.
Yes.
Yep.
And then 3rd seed. This is where it got a little bit more tough, but I think that the Rams are going to stay hot and lock up that division. That division is real tight right now. I think they can hang on to that.
Yep.
I agree that the Rams win their division, but I don't see them catching record-wise the Falcons. I had the Falcons at 3, Rams at 4.
I have the 49ers taking the 3rd seed.
There you
Okay.
go.
Yep.
Storming back.
Yep.
Then I have Falcons at the 4th seed.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins, so
Yeah,
I
he
see
is.
them losing a few games.
Yeah.
And then
The weak division, so
yeah.
we should be able to handle it.
And then that first wild card spot, I got the Packers at the 5 seed.
5 seed, I had the Commanders.
Commanders.
Philly, I think, like I said, I think Philly just barely passes them, but
And then
I think they might have the third best record in the NFC when all is said and done. But unfortunately, division winners get the home
I feel bad
games.
because I just feel like Jaden Daniels eventually is gonna start looking like a rookie coming up a little bit. They're still
They're
gonna get in. They're gonna get in.
I think it's gonna be in the playoffs, which
he's gonna. I think the end of the season,
to look like a rookie.
End of the season, Eagles are gonna take over that division, and then he's gonna get him.
It's likely.
Yeah.
My 6th seed, I got the Eagles. I mean, still that whole NFC, it's going to end up like that. They're going to end up with a 12-5 record, being the 6th seed. It's going to be weird.
I have Green Bay as the 6th seed.
Packers. Yep.
Which is actually, I think, is a very favorable matchup for them against my 3 seed, the Falcons. And then rounding it out, I already said the 49ers.
We got the Bucks.
I have the Vikings.
Okay.
Yep.
I was
curious who the one we were all going to leave out was because there's 8 teams. In my opinion, that are right up there.
Yeah.
Who was your team out?
It would have been the Niners, and then also
Vikings.
And you didn't have Bucks.
Oh yeah, because you had Bucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then that wild card weekend, I got the Bucks at the Commanders, and I think that this is where we start to remember that Jaden's a rookie, and I think this first year in the playoffs is going to be rough for him, and I got the Bucks beating him then. I've got the Rams taking out the Eagles, and then the Packers beating the Falcons.
I also had the Packers beating the Falcons in my 6-3 matchup. Like you said, I think Washington loses in the first round, but I have them matched up against the Rams, so I think win that one to set up a matchup between the Rams and Packers, and then have my 7 seed 49ers beating the Eagles.
Got the Eagles beating the Vikings. Packers take out the 49ers this time around.
Finally?
I think they get them.
I would love that
They're gonna
so
get them.
much.
They're going to get them. And then,
with LaFleur, undefeated in regular season against the Niners, but unwinning in the postseason.
And then Jaden's going to look like a rookie coming up, but he's going to upend the Falcons.
Oh, he's going to get a win in the playoffs.
He's going to get a win in the playoffs.
I think they can win if they get a matchup with the Falcons.
Matchup against the Falcons, he wins.
Cool. So that takes us to the divisional round. Lions, Bucks, Lions. And then that leaves Packers, Rams, and Packers got a pretty good track record against Stafford and the Rams, and then also Stafford when he was a Lion. So I got the Packers winning that, which leaves us with a super fun NFC Championship.
You love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a NFC Championship rematch in the divisional round. Detroit taking on San Francisco. I think Detroit gets that one done.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, terrible taste left in their mouth after last year.
Yeah.
I think they obviously dominated them in the first half. I think it kind of looks like that for the whole game this time around. And then I have the Rams winning a close one against Green Bay to set up a Stafford, Detroit, Goff, Rams rematch.
Sounds like we're all picking with our heart a little bit.
I got
no, I don't want the Rams to go that far.
Oh, I thought you wanted that poetic.
No, not really.
Just how it played out.
Because I'd prefer to watch Detroit Green Bay, but
there you go. I got all divisional rivalries going on. I got the Packers Lions. Lions taking out the Packers. And then we have Eagles Commanders with Jaden just looking so rookie.
Dang it.
It's yeah. Yep.
If you have the Lions and Packers matched up, then the Lions are going to need to let the Packers win the matchup in Detroit because it's so almost impossible to beat a team 3 times in one season. It never happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then that takes us to our NFC Championship. I had the Packers, Lions, and I got the Packers winning that. I took something I think a little bit different away from that game this week than everyone else did, and I'm a little bit less concerned going forward.
Good for you. I have Detroit taking out the Rams to move on to their first Super Bowl ever, which is obviously very exciting and kind of sad that they've never made it to one.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Long time coming.
And then Lions beating the Eagles, getting the Super Bowl.
So we've got Detroit, Baltimore,
Baltimore.
Green Bay,
Jets, which is what I've wanted. And I got the Packers winning and Xavier McKinney MVP.
first defensive MVP since Von Miller, or was there one since?
Yeah, Von Miller. Because then the one I forgot about him because I was gonna say Woodson, but Miller had it since then.
Dexter Jackson won for the Buccaneers. Was that before or after the Charles Woodson? Do you even know who Dexter Jackson is?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when that was. I feel like that had to have been before the Woodson one.
Von Miller, defensive MVP, Super Bowl MVP 2016. Before that, Malcolm Smith 2014 for the Seahawks.
For the Seahawks.
Yep, when they
he
destroyed the Broncos. Before that,
apparently I remembered that wrong.
Deion Branch. Before that, Dexter Jackson. Before that, Ray Lewis. Before that, Desmond Howard. No,
Dang.
Charles Woodson never won Super Bowl MVP.
Wasn't that Aaron?
It was, but what? Oh, it must have been the Favre Super Bowl. That go to that one real quick. That would have been 96.
When the Packers won?
Yeah.
97. Yeah, Desmond Howard.
Okay.
Return specialist.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he was also a Michigan guy. I
Yep.
just got that mixed up. I knew
There you
I knew there was a Packers one where it was. I thought defense, but return guy,
Yeah.
Michigan guy.
So you got the Packers win the Super Bowl. I have Baltimore beating the Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Baltimore beating the Ravens.
Or Baltimore beating the Lions, sorry. Hopefully Baltimore beats themselves.
Yeah.
Then
I'm too new to the pod. I wasn't
Lions.
going to talk crap just yet.
I have Lamar winning Super Bowl MVP. Getting over the top.
I have Lions, Ravens, and Lions win it with Aiden cutting back and winning
Ooh.
MVP. No, I'm on Ravens, and I'm gonna throw Derrick Henry out there.
There you
MVP.
go. Okay.
Good to see it.
Lions rush game. That's probably their weakness. Their bigger weakness.
Their
The
rush
run
defense.
defense. So
Yeah.
I don't.
No, their rushing offense is their weakness.
Yeah, so bad.
Terrible. Their offensive line sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic and Knuckles are terrible.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do it for this week's pod. Thanks, Roman, for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fun to have you.
Yeah.
Look forward to having you again
I want to.
whenever you can
I'm
make
trying.
it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little tight, but I'm glad to make it work whenever you're
It
here.
happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we are. I don't remember if I said it last time. We're officially on Apple Podcasts now. So YouTube, Spotify, Apple.
For any of you weirdos with iPhones,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that use
Yeah.
Apple. I didn't realize people use anything other than Spotify or YouTube if I wanted to watch it. So, yeah, check us out in any of those places, and we'll see you next week.